Working here feels quite special because this is really an area where art gets displayed rather than produced. Because I use quite a lot of sort of symbolism and motifs and graphics in my work, and so I look a lot at really ancient representations. I mean, at the moment I'm thinking about the skies and the oceans. So I think because we don't know everything about them, there's a lot of mystery, and they're endangered and they're so special, and so those are the things I'm thinking about a lot at the moment.
You know, when I tell people I'm a Mayfair, they just are flabbergasted. I mean, because it doesn't really ever exist for artists to be here. And so I think it's really, really special because a lot of the galleries have been here for many, many years, but to have some sort of young blood here and working contemporary artists, I feel like it's really important. I mean, I wish we could be permanent. I mean, you know, I would love to work with the community, create workshops for the community. Connecting with other creative people, like-minded people, is just as important for me as the painting, because I've had studios before where it's kind of just me, and it can get, I think if I'm cut off from other humans, it's almost I'm cut off from myself. So the connection is really important for me. I bought this clock, and it's been with me ever since I've had a studio, so for about 12 years, maybe longer, and for somehow I was just drawn to taking the hands out, and I ripped the hands off and sellotaped the back, and it's come with me everywhere. I mean, it's slightly broken, but I just love the fact that my studio was the place where I didn't want to feel the time pressure of the outside world and chasing time all the time because there's no hands. So my studio's always been the place where I immediately come in and just calm down, just even by looking at that clock. It just, having a sense of no time for me, it just feels really nice because I don't really have a concept of time, so, especially when I'm painting. There's been times when I just paint and I realise, oh, it's like the middle of the night, you know, but they're usually my best painting hours.
You know, I want to still be in an environment where I experience art, and I'm surrounded by artists, because my environment in the hospital, although I really like my job as a doctor, I love it, is very different. And I sort of have to show a different part of me when I work in the hospital. You know, you got to be together and deliver, and whereas in the art environment, I could be more of who I really was. I could be chaotic and crazy and mad, and that was okay. Color of the light can change something. The temperature of the light can change the feeling. The colors all has meaning. It can give something depth or bring it to the surface. It can make something very devoid of emotions and energy and really flat, or it can make it really astonishing and spectacular. The same space, lit in different ways from different angles, can completely change. And I think it's something immensely important that I don't think many people pay attention to it, although a lot of people do, but not many people pay attention to it. I don't know much about it, but I'm trying to experiment with the different colors. We can change the color temperatures and with these LED lights.
Oh yeah, It was the first time I'd ever ended up anywhere where I really felt that I belonged. It was my space. I've had a very turbulent time. Like, everywhere I've ended up has been through very bad circumstances, and it's never been ideal. So this was like the first time I've ever felt like, it feels like home. It's the first time I've I felt like I'm at home. I've always said, like, I just want to go home, but I've never known where that is. But I come here, and this tiny room that's, you know, it's too small for what I do, but it's perfect in every way. I love everything about it, and it's my favourite place to be. And it's so much bigger than this room, because I do come in here and my mind is taken to places that are just far beyond anything this world can give me. I can just come in here and release so much of myself.
I mean, like, we all have different characters and personalities, and we all have our outer personality and our inner personality. And I've always been a bit of a cultural interloper, so I lived in Malaysia and Australia and China and UK, and I've always had to find strategies in order to have a sense of belonging, a sort of survival code. And, you know, so I have my outer world. But, you know, one thing that has been very constant with me is the way I make these patterns. And I think being mixed, you do have a very extended, multifaceted view of the world. So I like to look at the hidden things and the quirky things and make patterns from them. So I think very intrinsically and inherently in my character is this sense of the quirky and the curious, because essentially I'm a little bit isolated from the world. And I'm really peering in, and I like to make stories from these things that in some sense I'm quite disconnected from. I guess that's what an artist's role is. It's to be somewhat outside, working quite alone, and interpreting the world around them and then feeding it back.
And then there's a lot of women in my book that inspire me. I mean, I'm inspired by women anyway, because my peers, my clients, my friends are just like amazing and strong. And it's like that, you know, I love the combination of femininity and vulnerability, but also strength. And I find women really beautiful. That's how I want people to feel in their clothes, you know, like, you know, that you could wear something beautiful, but you'd want to move in it. You know, it's not static. It's something that you want to really enjoy, and you feel it, and you feel expressive in it. And life's too short not to enjoy what you wear. I love coming here. It represents, you know, freedom, safety, opportunity. You know, when I come here, it's like, okay, so what am I going to do next? How am I going to do this? I just want it to be more of a special space where things kind of bubble up and, you know, magic stuff happens in here, so.
Abstract paintings, they're supposed to be a dialogue between the viewer and the painting. Quite often people like, what exactly this is, what's the meaning of this? Yes, for one point, it's probably yes. For me, I think it should be somehow the dialogue. You see, I have them at home, and I see them hundreds of times, and one day I see something different, and this is beauty of abstract painting. That a lot of it's multi-layered, it's deep, and you can it's changed, and you see different points of your life. You see them differently. You see new shapes. You see new meanings, and I love this. Discreet and quiet, but very deep.
At present, the most important catalyst for my creative output is Infinityland Press, a publishing house that I founded together with artist Martin Blood in 2013. Infinityland is fully independent and dedicated to fostering works of art and literature that bypass structures of the traditional morality and transgress ways of looking at the human condition. We embrace the most private aesthetic visions, pathological obsessions, and extreme desires. Well, I guess it would have to be a human being with all its complexities. I've been always interested in the economics of human destructiveness, the repressed in psychosexual and corporeal context, poetics of madness. My current research combines elements of psychogeography, urban uncanny, true crime, and dark folklore. As you know, we are only briefly here. The proximity to the UK's leading art galleries has definitely had a stimulating effect on me and my colleagues. And I would like to believe that in the context of the Mayfair community, 48 Brook Street studios are like a drop of fresh blood. It's a shame that it cannot last.
You know, you never think it's going to be you. It's always like, so-and-so and so-and-so's got cancer. It's just everything is very, removed. And then it was me. It was my husband. And that's a really sobering thing, that it can happen to anyone. Yeah. So when I have arguments about baby masks and thinking about what other people's reactions are, and I don't care. I don't care. Go for it. My family said that when we were in lockdown and all living together, this was the soundtrack of the lockdown, just the constant. He said to me before he died, he typed because he couldn't speak, but he said, "Be happy, say yes, have fun, be famous." And I think part of me becoming an artist was to, he believed in me and I wanted to show him what I could do. And I think he loved watching and seeing, and it really made him happy. So, yeah.